Welcome to Warrior Class.
Where the teachers will pass, and you will too
if you pass.
All right.
All right. So this episode, I was wondering how many people are going to be with us today, because a lot of people just take for granted the names of streets, whether it's a street, boulevard, road, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to see, but this is called Road Warriors versus Streetwalkers. Now, when I grew up a streetwalker, but we should know the difference between the roads and the streets. And we should know the difference between the road warrior and the streetwalker, too.
We might want to know the difference from road
because one you want fighting by your side, and the other one
you might just want by your side.
By your side, yeah.
I can't judge you. I ain't gonna judge you. On the side. You might want the other one on the side.
I tell you, back in the day, I used to have a couple so-called streetwalkers keep my weapons. It wasn't like they were gonna go to the police. So
very smart.
So I used to have them keep my weapons, and they knew that if they stole my weapons, well, they wasn't gonna go to the police.
Hey, we got a new member, John Kemper. How you doing? Welcome to the show, sir. We appreciate you.
Yeah, John not new. That's what happens when that happens. Like they've been, not paying them dues. They join and they repay or change their card, and then it makes them says new member. It's really YouTube's way of calling you out.
Also a lot of subscriptions do that, because the subscription I got with I'm not gonna name the URL, they black, but the description I got with URL, every time I don't know how I end up messing it up. I guess because it's tied to my Cash App card, and my Cash App fluctuates. So sometimes I forget about it. So yeah, I know what people go through with that right there.
I got a gripe before we start the news that really gets to me about our people, man.
Peace, Dominique.
Greetings.
Our people will not put the caps on shit.
The caps.
Yeah, I don't understand. So you can have a hot sauce bottle. They ain't gonna put the cap back on it. They ain't gonna close the if you got the soap with the flip top, they ain't gonna flip the top down.
The toothpaste, they leave toothpaste.
Thing lost. What's going on with us, man? I don't understand.
Lose all the ties to the bread.
As someone who lives with two octogenarians, sometimes it's hard for people to get the tops back off of stuff, and that's why they leave it loose. I'm not saying everyone, but it could be the case for whoever the person is. I don't know.
My wife and daughter, I was like, God damn.
Okay, no,
I said, let's break the paradigm. They'll tell you. I'm like, let's break the paradigm, y'all.
Cycle.
Yeah, let's break this cycle of not putting the caps on. So I remember years ago when me and my wife first got together, I introduced her to Louisiana hot sauce. So, forget that Texas Pete, which ain't made in Texas, by the way. Forget Texas made in Ohio. Forget Texas Pete. And all that. Louisiana, if you're going to get, we call it Negro hot sauce. I really mainly use sriracha. It ain't got all that salt and vinegar.
I love sriracha.
But,
It's not, regular hot sauce is not that spicy either to me.
Who? Oh, no, it's not spicy. And I love spicy.
It has a flavor, kind of.
It's got that familiar flavor with some foods, right? So I introduced her to Louisiana hot sauce. She loved it. And at that time, we were still eating chicken. So I said, let me put this on my fried chicken. I used to smother my fried, have it swimming in hot sauce, right? Let me get the hot sauce. And so I'm about to take the top off, I think. Well, no, I used to shake the hot sauce bottle first and then take the top. I shake it everywhere. What the fuck? Oh my God! Why didn't you put the top on it. Huh? What you mean?
Listen.
Where's the top? I don't know. I'm like, what? Why? And so
that's your fault.
You're not the only one. These are my friends. I used to go to their house. Now I go to their house and I would look through their kitchen, find the top, and put it back on shit.
No, I'm gonna tell you what would get me. It used to be the almond milk, because the almond milk got the, you know how the milk changed and it got the little cap right there.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be on there. My daughter put it on there, but never screw it.
Right.
And the first thing I do when I grab the milk is shake it, because you gotta shake almond milk. So I grab it and it's milk all over me everywhere.
Man,
so I had to learn. I automatically grab items and twist. It's like I used to drop my phone so much till I get out the car and I cuff my stomach. Even though I don't have the phone no more, I stopped putting it in my lap. I automatically got the car and put my hand right here to catch my phone, because I used to drop it so much. It's crazy. Anyway, the chat looking good.
Yama said we don't like stuff locked down. Freedom for the toothpaste.
I saw that.
Now I tell you, I went to Belay's house. I said, okay, I'm gonna give me a little bit of this gin, Belay. I look at it's a watchman there bumping the bottle. It's drunk because he didn't have the top off the gin. The doggone watch bumping around. It's drunk in there.
That's another thing. Leaving the cap off the wine and the gnats getting in, I'd be so mad about that. That would ball me up right there. Don't mess with my dupe. Don't let I ain't gonna say the name. Anyway.
So, I don't know what it is, but I go to James. If I come to your house and I see caps ain't there, I'm gonna look for the cap. And if I can't find the cap, I'll go to the store, take the cap off the thing in the grocery store, and bring it back to your house.
That is too much.
Gotta cap it up.
Now, look, I already explained. If you come to my house, I already explained to you what's going on over here. So,
your grandparents will be mad at me because I'm gonna come in there, twist it, make sure it's on there good.
It's just hitting the iron.
It's so disrespectful.
She was late to the broadcast. She worked out from 9 in the morning to 12:50, so she'd be a little late. That's why. Yeah, he was a comment say, okay, we on the weight bench out. Somebody else said, Warrior says hitting the iron. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. She worked out from like I say, from about 9 to 12:55. We usually work out.
I just put my sweater on and turn over around.
Warrior class started at 9 o'clock in the morning for us. Y'all don't know that, but it started at 9 for us. We actually, you know what I'm saying, work out. Then we come in and do this right here. But anyway,
this ain't chess. This ain't checkers.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Hey, please hit the like button. Please share. Tell your folks. This is an important show for a lot of reasons. People don't realize that this really is something that can save your life. Knowing where to go and why you're going there. And before Bob was taught this to us, I never thought about it. I never just thought about why is a Ave, a street, a block, a boulevard. I knew it was a difference,
right?
But it's real differences that really mean something. Mm-hmm. That as far as navigation, if you don't know anything about it, where you at, you can get to certain places and have an understanding of how the city works.
Right.
If you understand what I mean, will understand what we're saying.
Well, I was telling the wife, folks gonna understand when this shit falls, and they're like, "Oh snap! Which way do we go?" Especially folks down here or in DC, they're diagonal streets.
Yeah,
some of the streets run diagonally, and there's a reason why that happens too. But so if you know those reasons, you can get to certain places. But if you don't know, you just be lost.
Yeah.
I was watching this show, the parent test, and the children, they were like, we're going to give the children an OG map. So we know OG is old as hell. You consider the map old. We're going to give them an OG map, and they tell the parents how to get to this ice cream shop. They get to the ice cream shop to get ice cream. This one child, he looked at the thing, he threw it down. Go over there to the left. They turned left. He had them going all over the damn place. The father just frustrated, like, and, you know, he just drove to the place, like, forget it. This one family, he gave his children some hints and they figured it out finally. But it's terrible that, and it's not just children. A lot of people don't look at maps. They don't know nothing about looking at a map, what it means.
Adults, Baba, I could read a map as far as, you know, going highways and stuff like that, but, you know, really getting down to it, I don't think many adults know how to read a map.
And we did, and that was a whole separate class on land. You know, this is all part of land navigation, but on actually using a compass and a map.
Right.
And what the letters and numbers on the map mean. That's a whole nother class that, you know, one day we'll get to, when we can actually go outside and get together and stuff. Just so you all know who may have just newly joined us. I'm at home now because, which is funny, she ain't home now. So I could have came to our studio and shot. My wife is pregnant and the baby's due any day now. And literally,
I'm the midwife, just if y'all didn't know.
And so,
bless her.
So I was like, dear, she said, yeah, I'm gonna go and you know, do such and such. And I was like, how far is that? It's only 15 minutes away. I'm like, all right, dear. You got to make it home, you know, in 15 minutes. So that's why I'm at home, because trying to be close to home when that time comes, right? And it's coming. So if anybody knows my wife, I mean, right now she's so big now, the baby's like, hey, you know, I'm ready to come on out of this. So, you know, probably by next, I'm calling it by next show. If I'm not here, you know why. I may still be here. And
with the warrior class from the hospital.
The baby gonna be here. Oh, we ain't going to no damn hospital. Anyway, just so you know, my children ain't been born in no hospital. I've gone that route with some never again.
We'll do a show on warrior birth.
No, we ain't gonna show no birth either.
We ain't showing no birth. I said we'll do a show.
All
right. Hey, let's get to some news real quick.
Never mind.
Thank you all.
No, I'm for real about doing the show on warrior.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
See, there are things, just so you know, on that. There are 5 things that our oppressor doesn't want us to know. Okay? 5 sciences. And one of those sciences is the science of birth.
You both spoke on this before.
So that's very important. I know when I envisioned this show, I said I want to teach on the 5 sciences, right? So I knew it wouldn't just be about martial technique. That's only one part of being a warrior. Because when warfare is waged against us, they're not just physical warfare. That's actually the last thing they're going to do.
I'm glad you brought that up.
You know, and so there are steps. And so that means there are things we have to learn besides just physical technique, right? To prepare ourselves, protect ourselves. We really don't even want to be there when the physical attack comes. But if it's inevitable, we got to be able to handle that, right? But there are other parts to it. So when people join African Martial Arts Institute, a lot of times they're surprised that other things take place, you know. But the first thing we have to do is change your mindset, because we're the African Martial Arts Institute, teaching indigenous African martial arts. So you have to begin to think as an African. You cannot think as a Westerner or even as an Asian coming into African martial arts. It just doesn't. It's not going to work for you. And when people do that, they don't last long.
I always talk about when when you ask me what I want to talk about when we go places, that's the number one thing I always want to talk about, because that's the biggest, I feel like the biggest impact, the mindset that African martial arts instills. It's just, you made me think of something when you was talking about warfare. I was thinking about this post I seen with this Asian lady. I didn't mean to say, I don't know her if she was Chinese. I'm pretty sure she was Chinese, but I don't want to assume. But she was in Jamaica, and she was talking about.
She was Chinese then, bro.
Right. I just didn't want to assume, but she was talking about how she's Jamaican, and people just got a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? They need to realize they not Jamaicans, even if they black. She the real Jamaican because she don't have a passport. She don't have she from there is what she's saying. And I just thought that was so interesting as warfare. That's what that is. Like she said, like I'm listening to what she's saying, and like it's like a South African.
Right, exactly.
The same thing to me. Like you're saying, like you just came there, now you're Jamaican. Like it's just crazy. But anyway, we all know.
I know you're talking about. So
right, if one of us is doing there,
on there, and he'd be like, I know Ja, son, it's breakfast, and so and so. I only know 3 words, and he's speaking with a Jamaican accent. Your accent is not you. It's like Malcolm X said. Malcolm said, you take cats and they're born, the cat, you put her in the oven and she has kittens. Are those kittens biscuits?
Right.
They're not biscuits. So just because you're born in a place doesn't mean you're that thing.
Right. And if we were born in China, if we start talking about we Chinese, they be looking at us like we crazy.
Right, exactly. So it doesn't, it's not where you're born. It's what your very nature actually is. You can't you can put me anywhere. I could have been born in China, but I'm still an African. Right. It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter where you're born. It's going to affect how you think. We do not think the exact same when we talk about mindset as continental Africans, but don't think that we think so differently, right? Because of course y'all know I know several continental Africans, and they can be just as ratchet or just as righteous as any of us. And we can be just as ratchet or just as righteous as any of them. I remember when Akin Bobala first came in from the UK, and he talked to the students. They were asking them, "Do people from to the martial arts to the youth? Do people from the UK drink grape soda and eat French fries?" And he said, "Yes." He said, "But not much grape soda, but French fries." And we all know. You can't have French fries around Akin Bobala. You're gonna snatch them up. And that's a cultural thing because, of course, in the UK and in Ireland, well, Ireland's part of the UK, but Scotland, all they're heavily into potatoes. You can't have that around; they're gonna tear them mugs up. So yes, but those kind of things to ask that just shows we other folks. So a big joke at our house. We're watching a show and say we're watching a show and it's an Asian or a continental African. They're laughing or crying. One of us will say, "Oh, I didn't know Nigerians laughed." That kind of stuff.
Because of how ignorant we are to
right.
coaches.
I didn't know Chinese cried like that.
Right.
That kind of thing, because we other things like, they can't be like us. Well, it's not that big of a difference. There are some differences. So, I've heard people say from Nigeria, people in America are crazy. Yeah, there's some people in America crazy, and there's some people in Nigeria crazy shit too.
Right. And culture makes if not understanding culture will make something look strange.
And make
to
you look right.
Shit.
Men will think women crazy. Women will think men crazy. We both different from each other.
Right. You know,
we're thinking differently. That don't mean either opinion is right or wrong. Now, there's some opinions that's wrong, of course, but if your opinion is informed and your actions are informed, you can't say that person's wrong. They just think differently from you.
Yeah,
right. People, when they first start training and start getting knowledge of what makes sense in martial arts, they get real critical of other martial arts, right? And I said, well, don't be so critical. Let's look at the technique, because you could take somebody from any art, and if they're impractical, they're impractical. It doesn't matter what that art is.
Right.
Let's never forget that, right? Just because you're an African martial artist, or just because you're an African, it doesn't make you good. You have to earn that, right? You have to earn it. Now, and people would love to ask me, I know if I can bubble out here, you say, well, what about so-and-so type of people? Are they by nature good, or are they by nature bad? I don't know. That's for y'all to think about. I got an opinion on things, right? But that's for y'all to think about. When we first started the show, y'all, just so you know, I told them I'm an old dinosaur. I try not to bring my dinosaur opinions into things, but I've learned a whole lot from doing this show and doing so. It's made me think about certain stuff, certain aspects, right, of life and things like that. And even the martial arts, it's made me think. If you find a martial artist just because they've been doing it a long time, they're convinced they just know and they can't learn something else. If you're not growing, you're dying. That person is dying. And that's why you see a lot of martial artists from 2020 to now just clocking out. My martial peers, some younger, some older than me, right? Clocking out of here. They're clocking out because they thought they knew so much. No need for them to grow no more. Only place for them to go is in the ground. You can take that the way you want to take it. That's the way it is. And that's for all of us. If we get to a point where we think we know so much, there's no need for us to be here no more.
Like I tell myself, these people say they grown. Grown is to stop growing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
So you got to watch these words. They got power. So
right.
In the news, a couple things I wanted to hit on. One thing is this couple in Logansville, this LGBTQ couple. They're I'm not saying LGBTQ because they're a gay couple, but because they're advocates and they work on some committee for gay rights or something. I'm not sure what it is, but William Zulik and Zachary Zulik have been charged with using their 2 adopted children to make child pornography.
Oh, gosh.
This is in Walton County Sheriff's Office. A Georgia couple has been charged with using their 2 adopted children to record child pornography, police said. Walton County Sheriff's Office raided a home in Logansville and reports that a man was there downloading child porn. After interviewing the suspects, who is not identified, police said that they learned that another suspect in the county who was producing homemade child sex abuse material with at least one child who lived in the home, the sheriff said. A search warrant of the home of William Zullock, 23, and Zachary Jacob Zullock, 35, with deputies and child services responding to the home to help protect the two brothers who lived there. During the search, deputies found evidence the pair who were the children's adopted fathers were engaging in sexual abuse acts. Okay, that's all the article says, and documenting the abuse. That's all they say. So what really the stuff they're not saying is they were sexually abusing the two boys, right? Mm-hmm. And they were prostituting them.
Oh my God!
Throughout the city.
Damn.
And they were and the boys came from a Christian special needs program. So the boys also was special needs children.
Damn.
They well, I'm not going to even get into. Check out percentage. Check out who's raping mentally ill and the elderly. Check out the highest percentages of that. You can Google those percentages and find out the people that's doing that. It's pretty crazy. But what the thing about this is they was also physically abusing the children. They have them stand up in corners for a whole day till they just fall out and stuff like that. They're getting all these type of reports.
Well, of course, because they got to break them to make them subservient to whoever they've sold them to. It's insane.
So they know what they're doing. Good. Yeah. Wow.
Now, also in the news, this ain't nothing like that. It's bad. When I got up this morning, I'm looking at the news and I said, you know what, dear, I should have done this trying to be current, but I don't like waking up to shit.
Right.
I don't want to wake up and there's shit in my bed. That would be gross. I don't want to wake up to shit and put it in my mind, man. But so the people would know, you know, it's a necessary thing to do. But damn. This stuff it's really starting to just eat at me, some of this stuff, and I'm disappointed because this happened in Chicago. I'm not real big on I'm from this place is so great, and this I'm not so big on that. I'm not a New Yorker. Right. and New Yorkers can't deny they love New York. They love them some New York. Don't own a piece of that shit. But they love them some New York. Well, in Chicago, there were folks arguing, pissed off, communities pissed off. You know why they pissed off? Just 30 of them just together, and they're protesting. And they're not protesting police brutality, and they're not protesting anything else. They're not protesting poor work conditions. They're not protesting abuse of women. They're protesting because Haitians, these are black people too, Haitians are living in their neighborhood. These bastards. So I said, listen, Chi-Town, we don't want these immigrants living around here. I mean, first of all, they sound like they from the hills of, I don't know, Vaughan, Mississippi. I guess it sounded like that to me because they was talking so ignorant. I hate to say that. Sorry, Dad. He from Vaughan, Mississippi, and he wasn't ignorant. But just that, you know, we don't want these immigrants living around here. We got fentanyl here, so we don't want no Haitians. What the hell does the Haitians living there got to do with fentanyl? And then this one brother gets on there from church, and then my wife said, oh, this is what it is. He says, I love all my people. I just can't have them Haitians around here. These Haitians is, you know, you can't have these immigrants in our neighborhood. We got enough problems. And my wife said, it's the church. They have a problem because when they hear Haitians, they're thinking voodoo. That's the issue. They think the people going to go there and do voodoo. So this one brother was on there. He's like, I'm so disappointed. He said, we're not going to rise up because we can't unify.
Yeah, bro.
He said, black people, were able to come to Haiti during the Haitian Revolution right after. And in fact, Jean-Jacques Dessalines wanted to, part of his program was he wanted to go and now free the enslaved Africans in America. But folks don't know history and don't give a damn about it, and they don't give a damn. So that's them Haitians got a problem over there. They don't see that's our people.
Right.
That's probably was part of the plan to have us disconnected like that.
Right.
Especially with Haitians.
I'm like, man, damn, this Chicago.
Right.
It ain't the Chicago I grew up in.
But
it ain't like Chicago's so great, but damn, in our neighborhood, we had everybody, and nobody got no problem. We wasn't, you an immigrant, your shoes ain't nice, your hair messed up. We wasn't doing that shit. I'm from the West Side where we grew up, but we wasn't doing that. I don't know what they do now. But I was really shocked and appalled, and I'm like, damn, I'm ashamed to call that home where I grew up at.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it is a shame.
You know, we know all the bad, it's violent in Chicago. We know all that shit. But at least it was a place where I was like, there's some real cats there.
Are you talking about, you're not talking about the people who were protesting in that community about the Haitians moving there?
Yes, that's Chicago.
I didn't know that was in Chicago. Yeah, I saw that. I saw it crying about the what? If y'all don't sound like some white folks, I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to say that.
Well, the thing is, they take on the mindset
like white folks, like white Karens. You said what? Over there, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying they purposely try to set us against Haitians, especially because of the Haitian
they don't want that revolutionary spirit around us, Jack.
Right. So they were the first ones or the first ones of note to free their entire country.
Right.
So they don't. That's why we have all the stereotypes
in the Western Hemisphere to free their entire country.
Say that again.
The only ones in the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah, Bo. Right. Yeah. So I mean,
okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's why we have all those stereotypes about Haitians. That's why people who look like us especially look down on Haitians. There's no other reason. And that's why they move to try to make Haiti poorer and poorer all the time. No matter what happens, it seems like Haiti can never get out of the issues that they're having.
In fact, folks so ignorant down here now. It worked on my behalf when I got locked up. Okay, I had Ogun, which ain't no Ogun Eleke, just so you all know. But back in them days, the person teaching me was ignorant, really. And so they had Ogun Eleke. So I had Ogun Eleke on. And I had in my pocket, I had this pouch that had things in it. Among them, it had a rooster spur. So when they took it out of my pocket, the guy dumped it out. And it was a brother from the islands. And the cop that took me in there, first of all, they were scared of me in the first place, right? They had me locked up, like my wrist bleeding. They had the cuffs on so tight and shit and wouldn't loosen them. I respect your skills, sir. We know about you. Blah, blah, blah. We're not going to loosen the cuffs. Well, you got to look. And the cop said, what's that? And the jailer said, that's a cock spur. He has a cock spur, man. What are you doing? You doing witchcraft? I said, call it what you want to call it.
They scared of
the cop who brought me in backed away. Like, hey man, is it okay? Is it okay if I fingerprint you? I said, no, this shit's not okay, but do what you're gonna do. Mm-hmm. So he scared. Could you put your hand there? I said, you're supposed to put my hand on there. He want to grab my hand. They were terrified. So nobody took the Ogun Eleke off. I was walking around with Ogun Eleke on. It just was wrong. I wish I had just so you all know, Ogun, you do not wear Ogun around your neck. Ogun is iron, the blade, and you don't want to lose your head, right? You wear a black chain on your wrist or on your ankle, just so you know. So if you ran around your neck, it's wrong. That's not an opinion. that's actual fact. And just so you know also, since I'm in that mood, Ogun's colors are not black and green. You research and find out what the colors are, but it's not black and green. And when people say at me, don't at me because I ain't got time for it. Do your research. Okay.
And move right on.
Anyway, but you know, people got these things of African spirituality, right? No matter what form it takes, and it's all voodoo to them.
Right.
We talked about that last week, right? And it actualizes with the way these people acting.
Use it to our advantage.
Like shit. Y'all acting crazy as hell. And I told my wife if I couldn't be living in Chicago right now, because if I was, I'd have been at that protest too. Protesting them.
Right.
Y'all acting a goddamn fool. I'd have jumped into the news. Because they had, of course, they got them on the news.
The fuck wrong with y'all out here?
Right, what the fuck wrong with y'all? These people are stupid, y'all.
We'll feel like that. We'll feel like, shout out to my Haitian homeboy over there at Hip Hop is Real, No Bars. You always looking out for me. So, yeah, man.
And yes, I'm a root man in Gonyama. Now, I tell you this. And yes, shout out to all Haitians. We love y'all.
Yeah, bo. Ayi bobo.
Boy, exactly. How can I not love you and I love myself? So all of that, you know, it was just disappointing. So that part of the news, that sucks.
That sucks.
Nothing like doing that to them children, but that sucks.
Yeah. Also, so two other things, and we getting right to it, y'all. But this is just a report that, if you guys remember, this is an update that Army officer who was pepper sprayed at the gas station that time, that sued for $1.5 million. He just got awarded his lawsuit.
He said, "Yes, sir."
Yes, sir. he just got his big lawsuit out of 1.5. He got $3,685.
Wow.
What?
The moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen, is that justice can never be given. It must be taken.
Who got the rest of the 900,000?
Let me tell you who didn't get it.
Right, I know he didn't. Damn.
Yeah. So, you know, just in case you're saying, you know what, I'm gonna get out the car and say something. I'm gonna sue him. I'm gonna sue. If you touch me, and I'm gonna sue you. Listen, first of all, you can't sue if you're dead. Your folks can, and they end up with $3,685 because you jumped out the car.
Well,
resist responsibly.
I tell you this.
Understand?
I was gonna sue the military.
Oh, I know about it. Yeah.
I was gonna sue the military. No lawyer was calling me back. So finally this lawyer hits me back. He said, "Excuse me. You're a former military, right?" I said, Yeah. Just got out. And I thought my lawsuit was sound. You know, my mind ain't right. Always teary-eyed. I didn't, put so many people in the dirt. And first of all, that's your job in the military, so you ain't getting no lawsuit. But, in my mind, just because I was gone, I thought I had, but he told me, he said, nobody's going to take your case. I said, well, what do you mean? He said, nobody's suing the military. You want to sue the military because you felt I said, well, I know, you killed the military, but the things they had me do, he said, those same people, the stuff you're describing to me, you think I'm going to go against them?
You know what it remind me of? When the guy was talking about blackmailing Batman. You want to blackmail, and this is the man you want to blackmail?
Right.
Yeah, he's like, no, we're not. He said, nobody's going to take that call, young man.
Right.
Nobody's going to do that. I said, damn.
How long ago was that, Baba?
Oh, my God.
He was in the military.
No, I just got out, so I was 25.
Last year?
Last year, no. I didn't just get out.
Someone will probably take it now.
Last year, talk about being nuts. Shit, I'd be crazy mug unless I was a cook or some shit, you know.
You know.
And shout out to our brothers and sisters that are in the military that I cooks. I ain't breaking on y'all. You know, if you want, you know, you cook.
Get the check. Do whatever you gotta do. Hey, I ain't gonna judge you.
Get the hell out of there.
Get out of there when you can.
Now I tell you, the military does not respect cooks and secretary. They know they're necessary, especially cooks. Oh my God, they're necessary. They don't respect them. That's why, you know, so all of us, first of all, the songs, there's no song talking about I'm a cook. Ain't no song like that. Even the cooks when they going through. No, I'm just serious about that. I'm letting you know the mindset of the military, right? So there's a song, Hey Soldier, Combat Soldier, pick up your weapon and follow me. And it talks about the different, so I am the infantry, right? And then it's different. So then you talk 82nd, Combat Soldier, pick up your weapon and follow me. I am the airborne infantry. 101, Combat Soldier, pick up your weapon and follow me. I'm the air assault infantry. Stuff like that, right? Ain't nobody saying about no cooks. Because they don't, and we call people who weren't airborne, we call them legs. Legs. Because you ain't got wings. You understand? So that there's a lack of respect for them. They're necessary. Like the 5%ers unfortunately say, women are necessary, but are secondary, but most necessary. It's the same thing, man. They look down on folks. When I went in the military, they said, okay, you haven't done drugs, you haven't, you got no record, this and that. If we find out that you faked your way through here, and of course they pay big money to have you investigated, depending on what you're doing. You're gonna be special forces. You're gonna be a cook. You're gonna be a mechanic. So they're telling you, if we find out that you faked through all of this while you're going through the Q course for SF, special forces out, we're gonna take you out of there and we're gonna make you a cook. They say it. Or mechanic. That's because they consider that the lowest of the low for somebody that is considered intelligent and that is worthy of being special forces,
right?
Worthy of being a general, worthy. They'll tell you, we're gonna make you a cook.
I thought you meant it would be even messed up if they make you go through special forces. They let you be special forces, but they put cook on your shit. That would be foul. Now, that's how they get you.
That would be foul.
We're gonna let you risk your life. If you die, whatever, you're gonna be registered as a cook when you leave.
You're gonna be so highly trained.
That's cool. That's funny.
We're gonna throw your ass into chef school and make you a cook after you done went through all this training, risking your life. Yes. So,
two other quick stories, and we're gonna get to it.
Thank you for having me back in the community, Ingo and Yama. Shit.
Oh, a quick one before I jump into the story, just so y'all know, they just found out Simply Orange has levels of PFAS so high that it's toxic, and they're facing a lawsuit.
Oh no!
I don't even know what PFAS is. You can Google it, but I'm sure
it don't sound right. It don't sound right.
No, but first of all, if you're simply orange and you're supposed to be all natural,
right? It's supposed to be simply just orange,
right? What is PFAS? That shouldn't even be in there. So,
oh my God!
Well, they're not using organic oranges, and a few years ago they found out that they make it sound like simply unfooled around with and all that, but what they actually do is they juice a bunch of oranges and they keep the pulp in like a big bags or something like that. Yeah, until they end up, I guess, I don't know, making it into the orange juice. But this is something that was found out probably like 4 or 5 years ago. And so it makes sense if I'll look up the PFAS, but if it's some type of pesticide or something like that, if you think about it, if you're juicing then it is going to be more concentrated than it would be just in the fruit. Yeah, especially if you're buying the cheapest oranges that you can, which they probably are, because it's not organic, you know.
That's making me sick.
Yeah, it would be concentrated.
Okay. Another story, and this is the last story. I just have one another shout out I want to give out, but only in Massachusetts would police stop a single black driver more than how many times, y'all? Guess. 70 times.
70?
70 times.
Oh, God.
A black Massachusetts man is suing the Worcester, or is it Worcester? No, I think it's Worcester.
Oh, Worcester, yeah.
Worcester Police Department for racial profiling after allegedly pulling him over more than 70 times in just the past 8 years. He's still fighting charges from one of the previous police interactions. He says he's been suspected of stealing cars and selling drugs before even being apprehended without a warrant. Report says that he was pulled over in 2001 for not updating his new car color on his registration, which by law is not a thing. That doesn't exist. But yeah, just basically stuff like that, being harassed, disorderly conduct, all type of stuff like that. They haven't implemented strict body cam policies or any type of policies with that yet in that police department. So they're getting away with a lot. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And lastly, I wanted to ask people to put the family of Dr. Leonard Jeffries Jr. in your prayers, and if you can, donate to his trust fund. Professor James Small and another brother, they putting together a donation joint for his joint account, a trust account, his attorney's trust account. And
Jeffries is ill.
Yeah, he had heart surgery and he's recovering. And his wife is in need of urgent short-term resources as they recover.
Well, I'll say this: I don't know where he lives, but
I'm about to put some information on the.
I was going to say nowadays they're not doing heart surgery, unless there's actually valves or something destroyed, which may be the case.
Yeah,
they normally put stents in your body now, in your arteries. Right?
That's what I'm thinking.
That's the last thing, but they will check your heart to see if there's any destruction of any valves or anything like that.
Yeah, but I was thinking, I wonder if like a stent or something, maybe they talking about that and they just saying heart surgery because maybe something went wrong.
I mean, it is a form of surgery. I have stents, right? And that actually doing bypass surgery, and that's old hat. They usually don't do that no more. Right. They don't have to because they put the stents in there. Right. The only time that happens, and usually if there's one of your valves is destroyed, there's no saving you really unless you get a heart transplant.
Well, yeah, we just look into it. I just read about this today. It just came out. So
we stay prayerful for the brother, and hopefully he recovers soon.
Definitely. Well, that's it for the news, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get into it, can we see a show of hands out there for who has caught some tools since the last time we saw you? You caught the new one, Bob?
I caught one since the last time you saw me, yes.
Throw it out. Let me see. Not you, Bob. Not you, but
okay.
You don't know what's going on. I don't see it. I'm pretty sure I believe you. I believe y'all too. Hey, if you say you put it up, if you got it, you got it. But this is your reminder. Go out there, get you something. Add to what you need. Certain things you need out there. You should know by now certain tools that or get to know yourself and figure out which tools you should be moving with. but certain ones we know we also have.
I want to say this. This is a flashlight. Anybody can carry it. It's a very bright flashlight. I won't flash it there because it may mess up this camera or mess up your eyes. But it's made of steel. You can get aluminum, which is cheaper, but I don't like holding aluminum in my hand, to be honest with you.
Good point.
But this is steel, and it has a crenulated bevel. I don't know if you could see it.
Yeah, you can see it.
So that can rip and tear at the flesh or what have you. You could use it just like you would a pocket sharp. So you can get one. Aluminum is less expensive. Don't break the bank on yourself. I'm lucky to have a wife that got a lot of money. So she allows me to get these kind of tools here with my own money. But if you got a wife that got money, she ain't just stressing about, hey, goddamn it, we gotta, buy some canned goods. So I'm lucky. But don't break the bank on yourself. I'm trying not to show the company. Don't break the bank on yourself. Just get you something, aluminum. You can wrap this mug up with leather or something if you don't want to touch it.
So about real quick before we get into things, I'm about to go right off left, but I don't know how like a baby like register or what that is and stuff like that. But say if somebody in the chat wanted to get you some Pampers or something, how could they go about doing that? Is there a way to do that or something like that?
So so we have a baby registry. I don't have the link with me immediately. It's in the phone, but so you can send it to the link on the phone. Maybe we'll add it to the warrior class.
When I had my child, it wasn't no digital stuff like that. No baby registry stuff. I don't know nothing about how that work or nothing.
When my wife and daughter was setting it up, it was just sounding like wah wah to me. It was just going wah wah wah. That's okay, do y'all thing. But that's it. And if you don't want to deal with the baby registry, you can you can buy me a pistol and you can send it to your address. You can send it to. So I can more easily take care of my family.
There you go.
I'm always willing to take gifts of pistols, rifles.
And since Baba is dealing with the child, I can pick that up and get that for him. You don't need to be bothered with all that stuff right now. So just send you work it out at me.
Hey, you can send me the money. I'll put my cash app in the chat, and I'll give it to Baba eventually.
I'm gonna have some more.
That's very kind of y'all.
Of course.
You can officially tell folks the show is getting started. We're getting into the subject matter at hand. Never get lost. This is important. This is classified USPI information that I don't know if y'all would have got if I didn't think about this. Baba might even want to give this to the public like that. I kind of put this out there on the show. I don't know if y'all have got this. This is stuff we get on the low level.
Right.
So I remember years ago, Belay saying to me, man, Baba, we gotta teach all our people this. I was like, shit. I was like, I don't, I love all our people, but I don't trust all our people. I don't know them. So I ain't trying to give mugs shit to, give them the ups on me when shit go, but I do love our people. So my idea is if stuff falls down, your opportunity to learn from us is there and to survive. You got to take that opportunity, right? We're not going to lord over you and we know this and you don't, so we control you. No, you got to come to us with the heart to want to know, because we don't want just no clowns or assholes amongst us either, who will then try to turn around and form a coup or whatever, right? So for me, now I'm saying that not, wanted to do this class, warrior class, right? But even in this class, I think about what to teach.
Definitely.
People that's not in our circle.
What to say.
And so and what to say. So when Billy brought this up, it didn't take long to think about it. That's why I said, yeah, sure. Yeah, that's a good, but it did go through my mind. Is this something I want to share? But this is something that people need to know. Okay.
We really do.
And 3 people just left. They were mad that I said that, but
and actually I lost my notes on the class, so it's kind of like for me a little bit too. So really, hey, let's just keep it real. But no, this is serious. This was serious. And I know I've been wanting us to get to the topic now. He's stopping this, but it's just so funny because, man, it's the little stuff you don't think is going to be important. You don't think it's going to be worth your time, and it ends up being intricate. It's like these. Well, anyway, it's just it always amazed me. I always think about little stuff that I see the subject matter sometimes, and we even class, USPI, I'm like, well, we got to do this. Oh man, what I'm gonna get out of that? Or just I ain't gonna get much out of that. I mean, I know it can't be much to talk about on this. This was gonna be short, quick class, very quick class, but it ended up being a lot of information, and some of the most important stuff may sound simple. Some of the most simplest stuff may not sound important, and vice versa. So that's one of these things that's deceptive, like the stick. I always think about the stick, how I thought about it, how basic. I'm gonna do with a stick, man. I got knives, guns, all type of stuff. What are we gonna do with a stick? And I look.
Well, I tell you,
don't exist.
I don't know if you remember when I came to classroom there, I said, I was talking about how to properly wipe your ass. And people like, what? We grown ass men and women. And that turned into an hour of our class because there are things that we need to know that we really don't think about. We take so much stuff for granted.
You don't realize you don't know if you don't know something. Like all this time, that's why I got these dookie stains.
And your anus is a portal. There are 9 holes that men have, 10 that women have, and those open 2 things.
Right.
So they gotta be clean, y'all.
I could have been wearing white drawers my whole life.
Really clean. People, I'm clean. Oh, really? Are you? Let's test that. So
don't be a distinguished pig. I'll never forget that right there. I live thinking about that all the time.
Yeah,
exactly. So anyway, we're gonna get into the class.
Road warriors and streetwalkers.
Road warriors and streetwalkers. Right. So there's a difference, okay, between roads, streets, avenues, boulevards, all of and not just a difference in the name. There's a reason why they are what they are, and they indicate certain things. Okay, and we're gonna get into it. So roads, they run between 2 distant points, right? Like 2 towns, for example. It'd be Road 15 goes between this town and this town. Roads, they run between 2 distant points. Streets are urban roadways. Okay. All roads aren't streets, but all streets are roads. Streets connect people for interaction. Roads connect towns and cities for travel. Streets connect people for interaction. Okay. Roads connect towns and cities for travel.
That's
as cities grow, roads can become urbanized and serve the purposes of streets without having their names changed. So some roads still called access roads, so and so, or whatever. They're running through a city because there was a time when it ran between towns. It was smaller places, but now this place has become urbanized. Like Atlanta used to be called Terminus, okay, because it terminated in these roads That's why it's called terminus. All these roads led into Atlanta. They're in and out of Atlanta. And then as Atlanta urbanized into a city, you still have these roads here that are still accessible to us. That's access roads. You still access them. And if you get on a road, you know it's leading to another town. This is key. Want to get the hell out of here? I don't want to do it the street way. I want to do it the road way. Just so you all know, too, we just went to Florida for my wife's birthday. We went there the whole way on roads.
Wow.
We took roads all the way there and all the way back.
The question I got for you is how much longer was it versus the highway?
The trip was supposed to be on the highway 5 hours. The trip took us 5 hours and 40 minutes.
Wow.
It wasn't even that much more.
Because I did the same thing when I went to North Carolina and came back. I took the roadway just to some scenic stuff because I'm by myself and want to stay awake. And it didn't take me out but like maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't take much longer. You think that's gonna take forever. If you went to streets, and the streets wouldn't get you to another state.
Right.
It's roads. So
that's important, y'all. That's important.
Very.
Yeah, wow.
Chair road.
So that's what I dealt with that. So Bile, it's on you.
All right. Avenues are traditionally straight roads with a line of trees or shrubs running along each side, which emphasize arrival at a landscape or architectural feature. Boulevards are usually widened multi-lane arterial streets with a median and landscaping between the curbs and sidewalks on either side.
A court is a short street that ends in a cul-de-sac. A drive can be short for driveway, a private road for local access to one or a small group of structures. Other times it refers to meandering rather than straight roads and highways.
Now, just so you know, a court, if you're running from, say, some folks, and you see where it says court, don't run down there because that's a cul-de-sac.
Right.
You're gonna be caught.
Yeah, I'm actually on a court right now, and I don't actually live in this house most of the time, but for years I did, and several times a day you'll see cars just driving here and end up having to take the cul-de-sac and drive out because they think they'll be able to get to some place they're trying to get that's past here. They don't realize because they don't know about the court that there's no access out of here, that you have to just go out of the subdivision and find another way. So
think about if you're in a big subdivision and your phone give out. You can't get the directions this late at night or something. This right here can lead you. Just knowing this information can lead you to the entrance, to the exit.
Now, real quick thing, James said them roads can end up in sundown towns too. Well, for us, it's not a big concern because us in the daytime, this is Atlanta. At night, this Georgia.
Never forget.
We live in the sundown town.
Sundown state.
Sundown state, exactly. So it's cool. You got to know how to maneuver through those things to stay alive. Period.
Yeah, so, I'm from the South, James. An expressway is a divided highway meant for high-speed traffic. A freeway is a road designed for safe high-speed traffic, through the elimination of intersections at the same grade or level. A highway is a main road intended for travel between destinations like cities and towns.
Okay, a lane is a narrow road or a street, usually lacking a shoulder or a median. A way is a minor street off of a road in a town.
Real quick, wasn't the original creation of highways was from the military, right?
It was. It's from the military, the Army engineers. Yes.
Right. It was to get. Or am I thinking about interstates? I know one was created.
Remember, so interstate is a highway.
No, I mean, I'm sorry. Right. They created and they wide. I was reading somewhere that the government did that. They need them wide enough for tanks to fit.
And not just wide enough, strong enough. Yes, that's
right.
why the Army engineers build them.
Exactly.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure that was the case. Okay.
Yes, that's very true. All right. Now, thinking outside the box can provide helpful insight when you're lost, and traditional navigation assets are unavailable. So you don't have a GPS. You can't call Google Maps because you don't have phone service. While each city and state varies, these basic rules of thumb can help you gain orientation. I dealt with Akin Bobalov when he first came here. He was so dependent on the GPS. I took the batteries out. Now get me to a place that we have been going to several times back and forth. We use train in my house. Get me to my house. Don't be crippled by that. You know how to do this. You've done it 30, 40 times. You don't have to rely on that, right? Now, if I'm in a car and I don't pay attention to what the designations are, I'll get lost.
Right.
I have to pay attention to those designations. And if I don't, I'm just in the car chilling, I'll be lost like a mug. Now, so thinking outside the box, it can help you with these things. While each city and state varies, these basic rules of thumb can help you gain orientation. First, the grid system. So highways that end in an odd number, usually go north to south, as do avenues, which lead to uptown, downtown. That's when they say uptown and downtown, is talking about north and south. Okay, that's highways that end in an odd number, like it'd be Highway 85. Highway 85 down here goes north and south.
Right.
Okay, 85 south, 85 north. Okay. Even number highways run east to west, as do streets. So if you're on the highway and it's 85, you're either going, and it's going to be a sign that says it, but say, shit fall down, people took the signs. You're on 85 though. You're going either south or north.
Right.
You know that. And you can look at the sun and it can tell you which.
That's what I was just thinking. You got it. You got the rest after that.
Right. Even numbers run east to west. That includes streets also. Remember, north to south includes avenues. East to west includes streets.
Okay.
With the exception of large cross streets that run in both directions, even number streets run one way towards the east, and odd number streets run one way towards the west. When you have those one-way streets, okay? If they even number, going towards the east, odd number towards the west. House and building numbers stay the same. That is, all even are on the left, all odd are on the right. All even on the left, all odd houses on the right. I used to deal with this, training my wife on that, right, as we moving through. Okay. As you travel down the same road, if you see an odd address on the right side of the road, rest assured all the houses on the right will be odd number. Just know that. I'm driving, I see house 9087. I'm looking for 9083. I know it's on that side.
Right.
People, you see them looking 9083, looking both sides. Why? Why are you doing that?
Wasting your energy.
Right, you're wasting. It's odd. It's going to be on the same side. It's not going to jump over there. An odd house on the even side. It's not going to happen that way. Okay. Naming systems follow similar patterns. Roads named after states. Roads named after states, like Washington Road,
Right.
typically run the same direction. So Washington, if Washington Road runs, they typically run east to west. Washington Road, Illinois Road, that kind of thing. Those are all going to run east to west. Okay.
I was also going to say, I know, and I don't think it's in here, but a lot of times in a major city, if it's a 3-digit highway and it has a 2 in the front, then that means that it goes around the major highway. Yes. So like we have 285 that goes around 85.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. Okay. All right. Satellite dishes. Look for satellite dishes on buildings or towers. Satellite dishes work by pointing the dish toward the geostationary satellite that stays over the same point. Because of this, most dishes in the city will be pointing in the same direction. Learn which direction that is now so you'll always be aware later. It's a good navigational tip. Churches. In large, older cities, most churches were built to face east and can be used to get a rough estimate of the cardinal points of the direction. Pedestrians. If you're trying to get from one point to another, study the flow of pedestrian traffic. By following a crowd in the late afternoon, it will take you towards a station or other transport hubs. In the morning, walk against the flow of the crowd to locate these stations.
Because people are leaving those stations, going to work, going to school. So you go the opposite direction, it's going to lead you to these transportation hubs. Just a little tip for you.
Yeah, that's a good one. Flow of rivers in the city. Know the direction a river flows through your city. Does it flow north, south, east, or west? Is the flow from higher ground to lower ground? Do these rivers flow to the sea or other rivers? Does the current take you through the city or out of the city? After you find the answers, it makes it easier to decide if leaving the city by water is a feasible plan.
Now, a quick question. James said, do the even odd numbers on house tell the direction too? Yes. So say I'm at 1821 South St. Louis. Next house, 1823 South St. Louis. That means I'm going further south. So if I want to go north, I move and I'm in south. That means I'm on the south side of St. Louis, right? I move north towards the smaller numbers. Now I'm going north. Everybody understand me?
Yeah,
y'all understand what I'm saying?
Say it again.
Y'all?
Can you say it again, Bob?
Okay. I'm on St. Louis Avenue, right? 1821 South. First of all, avenues and streets, we know they run in certain directions. So we know the direction that I'm moving in. But 1821 South St. Louis. I'm there. I walked out of there. Say I left out that house. Now I'm walking down the street. Here go 1823, 1825. I'm going further south.
Right.
So if I want to go north, I go towards the smaller numbers. So as I'm going up 17, the 16s, I'm going north now. So yes, the numbers on houses also tell us the direction we're moving in.
Good question.
Yes. All right, urban land navigation during an emergency. Have you ever considered what happens to transportation and navigation in a worst case scenario type of emergency? whether that's an earthquake, EMP, hurricane, or a host of other life-threatening situations. EMP, especially if that happens, it's blowing out all electronics, so you ain't gonna be using no kind of Google Maps, GPSs, none of that, right? It's very possible that you will no longer have access to the internet or electronics, which means no GPS, online maps, nothing like that to help you find your way. You may not even be able to use your vehicle to traverse familiar streets, and everything can look different on foot. If you ever drive to a short route and then walk that short route, and you're going to see it looks different. It looks very different. Okay.
Yeah, bro.
So you should do both. So what do? Here are 5 ways to help you during an emergency so that you can get to safety. Paper maps.
I just wanted to interject too. I mean, it doesn't even have to be an EMP attack. They have those suitcases or cases now where they can stop all the electronics in the area. And if you think about it, if it's an emergency situation, it would behoove the authorities, the people who have access to that thing, to stop everyone else from being able to use those avenues so that they can use them. Right. So it doesn't even have to be an EMP attack. They could be doing it.
It's funny to use the word avenues. So paper maps. And no, I don't mean GPS doggone maps. I say paper maps. Right? We are talking hold in your hand, electronic free, old school paper maps. Many people have never had to use a paper map before. And that's sad. And they can be intimidating for new folks, new preppers, even new survivalists, right? That intimidates them. So when we did the land navigation class, certain people were into it. I'm watching certain people's eyes glaze over like, shit, I know they ain't used a map before. So they told themselves it's difficult. Right, like, oh shit, it's not difficult. It's just new.
The compass was for me. I never used that compass. That's when I was looking crazy.
Mm-hmm. And it's just a new tool. That's all. If this is new, if this is you, we suggest you pick up a few maps and familiarize yourself. You can get maps from like what do you call it? A quick trip, well, gas stations, stuff like that. Like larger gas stations, they got maps. Okay. Libraries, but I don't think they let you just take them out. You can get them from different places. Okay. Probably order them online for your city. The more familiar you become with maps of your area, the easier time you will have during a high stress situation when you need to start moving fast. Paper maps can show you various altitudes, routes, and let you plan accordingly for difficult areas of travel. We suggest having a street map of your city or town, as well as a map for any surrounding areas. You can put them on your wall. You can, definitely you should have maps in your go bag. You can pull out, tell you where you need to go, okay? Put them inside of a sandwich bag or whatever, so if it rains, they don't get wet and messed up. Keep these in your vehicle, in your go bags. You might also consider a state highway map for a bigger picture of your area and a topographical map to tell you about the local terrain.
Right.
You need a compass. For the best success with a map, you will need a compass. It isn't always easy to know which direction you are facing, but a compass will point you in the right direction, pun intended. You need to find north to properly orient yourself on a map. So you gotta, if you don't know north, you don't know what. So you find north and you use the map and you can orient yourself. We'll deal with land navigation with a map and the compass later. A compass isn't just useful with a map, however. If you don't have a map of your area, being able to verify the cardinal directions of north, south, east, and west is still extremely helpful. A compass displays cardinal directions in a 360-degree format. North is 0 degrees, east is 90 degrees, so they're turning, right? like that. South is 180 degrees up north, and west is 270 degrees. Keep a compass in your vehicle and go bag as well. If you can find a multi-tool with the compass attached, that can be a great space saver. Okay.
Yep. If you can find one of them old Rambo knives.
Right. They have the compass up there. That's the only thing they're good for. I'll be right back, y'all.
And he ain't lying. That is the only thing that they good for. Everybody did. Yo, that was the greatest, one of the greatest marketing tools ever. That was one of the greatest marketing tools ever. When Rambo came out and they came out with that knife, the Rambo knife with the compass on.
Oh, you mean an actual Rambo knife? I thought you were just
there's
a turn of phrase.
Yeah, it's like a coin, like it's not the Rambo knife, but he had a knife, and they came out with one. I don't know how they did this. But yeah, they came out with a knife, and it's like the knife was almost like for kids. I don't know how they did it.
I missed this.
It wasn't for kids, but it was like, I don't know how old I was when I had a Rambo knife. I got to think about it.
Wow, so you had one of these things.
Everybody in the chat, y'all please tell me if you had a Rambo knife. If you even know what I'm talking about. Let me know in the chat if you know what I'm talking about, because they was camouflage. I'm gonna tell you, flea markets. See, I was from the country. They had flea markets. Follow.
Yeah.
Wasn't that one of the greatest marketing gimmicks ever? Like I don't even remember if Rambo had a knife like that. I just remember it was called it was like the Rambo knife.
He didn't, right? They just used that term. I don't know how they didn't get sued. And then you had it was so popular, like classic knives that are great knives, like the K-bar knife, the Marine Corps knife. They started putting, not in the Marines knives, but they started putting a damn compass in those, which is ridiculous, because if you get a K-bar, so if you look at the K-bar's got like an octagonal pommel.
With the compass on top.
That's used to hammer stuff. Well, with the compass, you can't hammer it, it'll break.
Right.
So you taking away one of the tools with that knife.
Okay, Jules says something. I think that's how they did it. They had a toy version of that Rambo knife, and then they had a real version. So I think that's how they did it. Because as a kid, I was maybe 5th. I know I had a Rambo knife. Because I'm from the country, like I said. I went to a flea market and seen it. I was probably 12, 13, and I bought it. No, I ain't gonna say nothing. She don't care. Like
the toy or the real one?
The real one. It was camouflage. I remember it was different ones. And it's like they were marketed. That's what I was saying before when you left. It's like they were marketed to kids. It was strange. I've never seen no other tool done like that. Because
I want to do it too. So if you look in, I used to get the Guns and Ammo magazine.
Right.
Okay? And I was like 16, 17 or something. I used to get Guns and Ammo. I had a subscription to Guns and Ammo magazine, and in there they sold the Rambo knife. People who didn't know no better were buying them. I mean, now the Rambo folks, they may have used the name of the company who made Universal Pictures, whoever did. They may have been the one selling that shit.
Right.
It was so freaking cheap. It didn't make no sense. They came apart, they broke, and I just bought another one. They look cool, they rigid. Baba, I got an idea because of this right here. We got to do it. We got to do it. Anyway, that's crazy. That Rambo knife, every kid I knew had one. Everybody had a Rambo knife at one point that I knew. Yeah. I'm going to ask about that on Facebook. I just asked Facebook, did you have a Rambo knife? Because that was a crazy. And how old were you? Anyway.
Another tool that most people had that parents didn't pay attention to, they thought of it like a toy, was a slingshot.
Mm-hmm.
Slingshots are straight. They were popular, and then our block kind of got together and said no more slingshots, because one boy, Derek Ivory, I forget his last, but he was Derek. His first name was Ivory, Derek Hart. We call him Derek, but his actual first name was Ivan. He was riding his bike down 16th Street, which they call that, the bad boy street. Next block over. He's riding down 16th Street on his bike, and somebody shot him with the slingshot. They had used a piece of glass in it, and it shot it into his arm. And so there was like a quiet ban on slingshots in our neighborhood. But I had so many. I was the one that people would pay me to make them their slingshots.
I didn't never thought of slingshotting broken bottle glass. Oh my goodness.
And the best thing to shoot with them, because after they did that, I went over to the block and I'm sniping at them from the alleyway. We got alleys. So I'm sniping at them from the alleyways with broken glass. They use a piece of broken glass like that. The best is the bottle.
I know it.
You got the weight.
I knew it.
And so you use that because it's easy to pull. Then it's got that point, and you shoot that.
Boy, I'm sorry.
And once it hits the skin in there, pulling out is broken glass in your skin. When you pull out,
that's bad.
Glass.
I got a slingshot, y'all, so I'm eating this up. But yeah, new member, second Ezra, God protects. All right, welcome
they
to
sold BB guns as toys when we were kids. That's too. That one too.
And I've been shot with a BB gun. They are not toys.
A boy called my mother. She used to pay him to do work at the house. He came over for work. She said, "I don't have no work for you now, John." He said, "You light-skinned bitch." And she chased him out the house with a broom. She told me. I said, "You hit him with the broom?" She said, "No." So in my mind, I said, "That's not enough."
Of course.
And she ain't, he was like 2 years younger than me or something. So I'm like, he can get it. So I said, "Well, I ain't gonna beat him up." Cause my mother, don't beat him up, Adam. I said, "I'm not."
Come on, Bob. You was 5, he was 3. Let it go.
I was what, like 17 and he was 15.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can
call my mama a bitch.
Yeah, you get that. You got to get that.
I had this BB gun, but my mother had bought me one where it.
Oh no!
Where you crank it, no! Get.
No, if you cocked it more than 2 times,
man, I'm cocking them. I couldn't even hardly move it, so I'm using my foot to help me cock it. And then I put the BB in there, and he's running around in the alleyway on his bike or something, in the gangway, and I shot him, hit him in his head. You hear him holler, ah! Then I slid the rifle into my doorway, and I'm sitting there listening to my music. I'm the king of rock. It ain't nothing high. I'm listening to King of Rock on there. And the ambulance came. They just put him in the car. By the time they put him in the car, I'm playing Rock Box. Bow, now. I was just on my Run DMC. The whole time they putting him in the car, in the ambulance and shit. And my boy, it was 20 years later. So my best friend Anthony, he says, "Man, I'm gonna tell you something that you did that you ain't think nobody saw." I said, "What?" He said, "When you shot John." I said, "I don't know what you're talking about." He said, "Man, you shot John. You threw the BB gun in the house, and then you started playing I'm the King of Rock. Start playing King of Rock." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Then when they by the time they put him in the ambulance, you were playing Rock Box." I said, "He's straight no, because that's exactly what happened." He said, "I was coming around to get you so we can hang out. I saw you do that. I just stood on the end of the corner like, hell no." And I'm just watching everything just play out. The ambulance come get him and everything, and you on the porch like you ain't did shit. And I said, "Well, damn." He says, "You don't know who else could have seen that." I said, "That's true. Like, damn, you saw that. I didn't even notice." So
shout out to my older
I saw that shit too.
Shout out to my older brother Pops that he shot me in the behind with a BB gun and then bribed me not to tell my mama by the time she got home.
Now, John, if you're on here, John, if you're on here, I'm just playing. That wasn't me.
John earned that.
Yeah, he earned that. He called my mama a light-skinned bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's another dude that people used to love calling my mother light-skinned bitch. We were on the well, my mother was on the porch, and the dude who lived next to us got drunk, called my mother that, and I knew something happened because my mother looked upset, and I ended up tricking it out of her to tell me what happened. So, but she made me promise not to do anything if she told me. So I promised. She told me. So I keep my promises. So I said I won't do nothing. I talked to a friend of mine. He was over there, and I said, I promise I won't do nothing. He said, well, I didn't make your mama that promise, which is actually according to my plan. And
so you did something.
At this point, the dude was on the ladder, stealing the cable from my house. He always did that. So it was just justice anyway. So my boy walked over to him. I won't name him because he did this, and he pushed the ladder out from under him. The dude broke both his legs.
Whoa.
He said, that's for calling my mama a bitch. It's my mama, but you consider that his mama too. For calling my mama a bitch. Yeah, Then he was on the porch in the wheelchair talking about you had your boy do something. I said, do what? What are you talking about? I'm sorry that what I did. I don't know what you're talking about.
Certain behavior, man. I just never. I know a lot of guys. You talking to good women. A lot of guys. I ain't like other men or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I could safely say I'm not like most humans. I know we're not as warriors, but it's just like I never was into calling women names, even with my friends. Even I went over there and tried to holler. All my friends seen me get turned down. Like, why would I call you a bitch after that? That's so stupid. I just tried to talk to you. So why am I gonna be like, fuck you, you stupid, ugly old?
Then you call somebody mama? You call my mama a bitch?
I'm not talking about your mother. I'm just talking about calling
I got you.
names out their names. I never was one of them dudes who just one of the dudes in the school that keep your hands in your pants, grab your nuts. What's up? You know what I'm saying, baby? You know what I'm saying? Fuck that bitch. I just never understood that type of spit Louis type of motherfucking dude. I never understood it. You know what I'm saying? Dude stand there, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Fuck that bitch, nigga. Spit some Louis.
Well, first of all, if he got his hands in his pants holding his nuts, talking to a woman, he gross. Anyway.
Well, I had to go to New York to find out.
When I was in high school, I ran into dude.
How much she'll tolerate.
It was a deaf brother, and just what he was, deaf. Ain't saying.
We'll get right back to celestial navigation in a second.
I'm gonna get to it. He was rubbing his penis with his thumb in his pants while hollering, trying to not really hollering that, so he couldn't really talk. He was deaf, and rubbing his penis with his thumb and looking at the shit like that's sexy. I ran his ass up out of there.
You damn right.
Like
pervy ass motherfucker.
So nasty. Right. Like, this is gross.
You don't need to hear what women got to say.
And they trying to turn away. He tapping them with his other hand.
Deaf don't give you the right to be a nasty motherfucker. You get your ass whooped. You deaf bad. I don't care what you hear.
Right. You get your ass whooped. You just don't hear it coming. All right, celestial navigation.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. On that note, I apologize. I have to leave.
Dang, we did.
What?
It wasn't because of the story.
I was. Now we know you gotta go. We gotta go.
Yeah, I gotta.
Oh, you gotta leave.
Yeah.
Yes, I
thought you said, "Fuck this, they crazy."
I just want to
say it would have been well before this.
Oh, okay.
I had to go to. I went to New York and had to ask one of the dudes that was on the block in the Bronx. I was like, "Yo, man, I gotta ask you this, bro." Once we got cool, I was like, "Yo, man, why nigga grab their nuts so much?"
Peace, y'all.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Excuse me. But I'm like, yo, why dudes always grab it when they talking? And he explained it to me. It was a great explanation. He was like, yo, so he's like, yo, you know how your pants back then we wore the big pants, and they cover your Timbs or whatever, right? He was like, so you don't want to be caught, nigga, looking corny, lifting your pants up, over your tips. So what you do is you just grab your nuts, like you lift it up real high, and they fall back down on your tips, right? That's why you see motherfuckers do like that. That's what they doing. I was like, damn, that kind of make a little bit of sense.
Why do baseball players grab their nuts?
Yeah, I ain't got no answer for that one. Anyway, back to
all right.
I just thought it was
yes to navigation. I think it's just a bad habit. Now I know why baseball players do it too, but anyway, celestial navigation. If you find yourself stranded without map or compass to rely on, find yourself without map or compass now. So remember, you ain't got the GPS. Right. Now you don't have a map or a compass because you jacked up or you lost it or whatever. You fell in the water. You can still make it. We got good news for you. People have been navigating the world without any gadgetry for thousands of years.
You never know it.
Using the sun and the North Star, you can at least get your bearings. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. So during the day, noting the position of the sun can help you figure out your cardinal directions. The sun rises in the east. So it's rising in the east. That means that would be the north. That would be south. That would be west. If that was east, okay? Just so you know. At night, finding the North Star will point you north. To find the North Star, simply find the Big Dipper constellation. If you don't know what that is, you can look that up and see what it looks like. Follow the two stars that form the outside barrier of the cup. So Big Dipper, like a Big Dipper. That's why it's called that big, cup. Yeah. Follow the two stars that form the outside barrier of the cup and extend that line pointing away from the mouth of the cup, and you'll find the North Star. Okay. Just so you know. Landmarks. Noting your surroundings is extremely important for your survival, but it can also help you find your way. Large bodies of water, tall buildings, or mountain peaks can give you an idea about where you are, as well as keep you from walking in circles. Yeah, so note where you're at. Note those landmarks. If you got a landmark to your left and you're walking, that landmark, if you come back around, to your right, you come back around, that same landmark is there. You're noting it. If it's to your left, you walked in a complete circle. To your right, it was on your right. If you walk in that same landmark, now it's on your left, that means you have walked in a half circle. Yeah, everybody understand? Mm-hmm. All right. Specific buildings also give you a lot of information depending on the area. In large, older cities, for example, most churches, as we said earlier, they were built facing east and can be used to give a rough estimate of cardinal points of direction. Now, some people north is really up there. That's called azimuthal north. That's
5 times. Just kidding.
North. North on a map or on a compass is north that way. Cardinal.
Okay.
That's azimuthal.
What about
true north?
True north. That's what that's called.
Right. Now, be prepared. The best way to navigate your area is to be prepared. Familiarize yourself with your surrounding area. Don't just let your map and compass sit around gathering dust. People got compasses down there, pick the mugs up, take them out, play with the mud, learn it. You can buy a cheap compass. Shit.
Thank you for that, Bob.
For $1.
Yeah, I was about to show mine, and you just reminded me. I don't take mine out enough. I just leave it in my bag.
Yeah,
Do it even still work? Is it broken? What?
Right. Practice with that mud. Learn to use them so that when an emergency does strike, you feel confident in your ability to navigate through any emergency. You can get them with they glow in the dark. But if you got a glow in the dark one in your bag, you take it out, it ain't gonna be glowing in the dark.
True. Yeah.
Let sun hit that mug, it turns dark, you can see it. You can read the map. You can't read the map, but you can read the compass in the dark. You should have a flashlight close at hand anyway, where you can read compass, map.
You should have quite a few flashlights.
Get around your house, yes. So you should have 3 of everything. 3 is key. 3 is key, okay? So you should have 3 sources of light, 3 sources of heat, 3 types of sources of water, 3 sources of food, 3 sources of shelter, okay? So 3 sources of shelter, goddamn. Your house or apartment where you live, a tent, a tarp, and some rope to make yourself another shelter. If you got it, you can have more than one home. You could.
Right. Your vehicle might be another one.
Your vehicle, an abandoned house that you know of.
That you've been scoping out.
Just make sure, right. Make sure you got 3 sources of everything for your survival. 3 tools at least. If you got pistols, rifles, shotgun, 3 sources of ammunition. So just so you know. All right.
The firearm.
Are there any questions? Somebody said, I've been plus minus 15 minutes for years, night or day. NSEW and time of day. Swiss Army knife. Yes. Practice daily self-test to gauge proficiency.
A dude said that that slingshot with the glass, that's Chicago weapon innovation.
Yes, exactly. Big time. You know, all kinds of Chicago weapon innovation.
I just
welcome Second Ezra God Protects as a new member.
I just want to emphasize, y'all, the go out and get those tools that you need. You know, you definitely need 3 blades on you, not on you, on your person. If you can, you need to carry 3. I know sometimes it's difficult for women. Did we have the show yet where Amaniki showed how she carries blades?
Yeah, that was last show. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah,
and you can look on our playlist. You'll find a video.
Oh yeah, did we do that?
Where the sister Ogunlewa, she's wearing about 15 weapons, something like that.
Yeah, with a dress on.
15 tools with a dress, pulling pistols from everywhere, knives.
And there's plenty of videos with
sharks,
with things of that nature.
So yeah, we were planning to do, but COVID hit, a Warriors fashion show.
Yeah, that's what that was from. I forgot that's what we was doing.
Where we were practicing for that, getting ready for that. Where it'd be men and women, you're showing different ways where you can, have your tools on you and people wouldn't even know. And it's comfortable. Things of that nature.
So the thing, I just want
even safety pins help. Yeah, of course. Right. Yes.
I just want to remind folks and emphasize getting these tools is only the first step. And that's usually where people stop at. They get a tool and it's like they forget about it. That's why you get stopped with it, and I forgot it was terrible. But that ain't the only reason, because you have it on you every day. But that's the first step. You gotta get familiar with that tool. You gotta not use it like use it, but you gotta train with it. You really do, or you will lose it. And you won't have it to begin with. And that's
you have the Swiss Army knife. I would use the term multi-tool.
Right.
So if you ever stop, this is a multi-tool, not Swiss Army knife, because knife can be used against you. If you have a multi-tool, just happen to have a knife in there. It's when you, if you have a multi-tool, still practice with the tools within the multi-tool.
Practice pulling that tool and getting it out in front of you. So that's the most important part of all is getting that tool is practice pulling it out, getting in front of you.
When he says getting in front of you, he means like this. It's deployed, it's ready to go.
Right. Deployment. Tool deployment is what I meant. That's the terminology that I meant to use. I was amazed. My daughter hadn't been training for this whole year, maybe once or twice. Past couple years, due to COVID, my daughter ain't really been trained like that. We got in class Monday, and she didn't know how to do some of the footwork. She had forgot. This is amazing to me, because I kind of never stopped. I'm like, you could forget, forgot how to rear master. How can you forget how to rear master? Like, how could you? That's the basics. But you can forget it. And if you don't never train it, you definitely ain't gonna do it. It's hard to believe that. And the reason we don't believe is because we don't get into stuff. We believe, since we ain't really been into no physical, we ain't getting into stuff in our adult age, which we shouldn't. Until and hopefully nothing ever happens. But since we don't really get into stuff, we got this imagination that you fantasizing this is gonna happen, and when it never happens like that. It never goes the way, even people who in a sport where I train every day, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to maul this kid. He's smaller than me. I'm going to go in and I done had people in wrestling. My third year, it's a rookie. I know he don't know nothing. The coach might say, look, don't pin him. I want you to go out there. I want you to practice your so-and-so, practice your blah, 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 and practice your blah, blah, blah. That's it. Don't do nothing else. And I get out there, and yeah, he ain't never done that before, but he's not no sucker naturally. And what I planned on doing, I trained this 100 times a day. Not in my lifetime, every day. That's wrestling training if you don't know what I'm talking about. It still don't work. I try to do it, it ain't work. Got to do something else. And because I train something else, I'm able to do something else. I'm not going to talk y'all to death. You ain't going to backhand, knee somebody, elbow them in the face, and do all the stuff that you've seen 100,000 times just because you watched Enter the Dragon 700 million times and you love it. And you know what I'm saying? You in the house and you do every now and then you do a little something, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, you can get your leg up there. It can still get up there. You can come on, but train. That's all I'm trying to say.
Even when you train, your perspective changes. Like watching Enter the Dragon, for example. You see him going against Bob Wall, and he's and you think that's super fast. All he's doing is slapping his hand down, hitting. Bob Wall hits that hand. He knocks it down, hits, right? Then the other one he hits. Bob Wall blocks there, he comes down. Bob Wall blocks, he knocks that down and hits. It's not fast at all when you know what he's doing. Right? But if you don't know a thing, it doesn't exist. So your mind thinks that's that's quick as hell, and it's not. Now, Jadarian, you asked if scoping out abandoned houses for shelter, do you scope only at a distance, or should you at some point do more than look from the outside before an event happens? I would say yes, just be very careful, because people see you going into a house, right? They can call them folk on you. So be very careful. One of our brothers was looking at a house to purchase, and they called them folk on him. So
I went to a house to just give an estimate. I used to cut trees. Went to somebody's house to look from the fence, looking at trees. It was a roadblock at the subdivision because I was in Cobb County. It was a roadblock waiting for me.
Crazy.
I forgot that happened. I just got mad.
So yes, you want to scope the house, right? Big thing you're looking for. You don't necessarily have to go in the house.
Right.
Watch if there's any activity. So watch it during different times that you don't want to be sitting on no damn stakeout of the house unless you got that kind of time. But if you don't, go to the house in the daytime for a couple of hours, watch it. Afternoon, couple of hours, watch it. Evening, couple of hours, watch it. See if anybody comes in and out, because there could be squatters in that house. Just because it seems abandoned, right? You go in that house and there are 5 people up in there you got to deal with.
That's basically the same advice I give somebody if they plan on moving in the neighborhood.
Yeah, that too. Yes.
Go a couple in the daytime, come down there about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock on Friday, Saturday night, see what's popping up.
Yeah, see what's exactly. So watch that, but watch that specific house, right?
Yeah.
And see that you're targeting. See if anybody's there. Now, if you're targeting a house that people are living in, like I'm gonna evict them if shit fall down, that's another thing, and I ain't giving you no advice on that.
Right.
I ain't talking about you, Dario. I'm talking about folks listening, right? Because I remember we had some folks living at our other house down from us, and woo boy, you talking about some folks you just want to knock them the fuck out. And I said to myself one time, and I had to catch myself, like if shit fall down, that's the house for my students right there. Because I'm gonna take it from them. Now I had to catch myself, like, you know, I can't stand them, but damn, you know, I don't want to do that to them. But you know, so it may be some people you just hate and say, I'm gonna take that shit when don't be like that. You know, I had to tell another student who our dear brother here bought the class. He told me, I invited him to USPI. He said, well, I don't need that. He said, I'm surprised that Belay gone. He wasn't Belay at the time. I'm surprised he gone. He said, because we already talked about things fall down. We're just going to go to Walmart and hit it. I said, brother, that's going to be you and 200-300 other folks. That ain't going to work.
Right.
You better get your shit, you know. So he wasn't listening. He was just, you know, if you're convinced that you're going to go to Walmart and you're going to hit hospitals, when I listen to people saying that, I'm like, they don't know what they're talking about. If you are sick or you got a sick loved one and you think you're going to hit the hospital, the pharmacy, Kroger pharmacy and shit, and get your medicine, you think you're the only person thinking that? By the time you get to that hospital, unless you work there, all that shit gonna be gone.
That's why this is so important. That's why what we're doing and what we want to provide is important to us, and why we hope people take it so serious is because this is just that simple information right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is life and death stuff. It's yeah.
But you know, a sister said one time, if we were ever going to be facing hunger, God wouldn't have given us Kroger. I said, she sounded like a goddamn fool.
And that's the thing, man. You know, you ignorant, you just don't know. I was with him. I'm like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. As soon as it happened, we just go to Walmart, you know, get all the guns and all the everything from there. We straight. And bet. And you go on with the rest of your life. Like, just take things a little bit more serious. Always saying, like, have a plan for your family to leave your house.
When people say, well, we're just gonna even preppers, we're just gonna bug out. I always ask, well, how you gonna get to the forest? How you gonna get there? Or do you live in the forest? Now, here in Georgia, shit, my backyard is forest.
Right.
But going to an actual forest where ain't no other people, how you gonna do that? People not thinking, well, you know, you're gonna drive there. You think you're the only person thinking of driving? When Katrina was hitting 5 days before Katrina came, people were trying to drive out of New Orleans. A trip from New Orleans to here takes 5-6 hours. It was taking 19 hours. This I know because you all know Sonny Patterson. Well, I know Sonny Patterson well. Her and her husband, Trent, they were like, we got to get the hell out of here. 5 days. It took them 19 hours, a 5-6 hour trip. They went 5 days before Katrina. People were trying to leave the day before Katrina. They couldn't get out of the city.
That's the kind of.
You're not going to be driving to no damn forest. Stop it. Stop with your romanticism and pretending like you're going to be a Boy Scout in the forest. You're watching too many movies.
And that's the thing. We don't know that we delusional because it's just not, it's things just not thought of. Ain't thought about. Oh dang, everybody gonna be thinking that. Damn, everybody.
And these are people who's supposed to be prepared. You're prepared. They're not prepared. They're not because they're not thinking realistically. You better prepare yourself wherever you at. If we happen to be caught out in the forest, I better be able to survive. If we happen to be caught in our house, I better be able to survive.
We got to be the whole thing, man. Be realistic. Like, think realistically. And promote that to other people, man. Who's done a fire drill at their house? Right. Like, just start with the simple shit before we do all this crazy stuff. Do the family know where to go at when the house catch on fire? Do the children know what to do? I want to sit here and guess I'm 85% ain't done nothing. Don't know, your kids don't know shit to do if the fucking house catch on fire.
They don't know nothing to do when they talk about stranger danger. All parents think that they've trained and prepared their children. I've told people when they come to our workshops, and they're in our workshops, I say, I can get any of these children to go with me or anybody else that I bring into the space because you think you've trained them well. You have not. Even the children of my students,
right,
who think. So this one child of one of the high-ranking instructor, he didn't train his child well. But there are people who are really slick and so you got to be slick and well trained enough to train your children. So I'm talking with them. I said, well, we're doing a thing. So you're not supposed to go with the person. He's rocking. I'm rocking with him. I'm getting in sync with him. He put his hand in his pocket. I put my hand in my pocket. I'm telling y'all this stuff. I will still get your children if I wanted to. That's what I'm telling you. You got to not just do it once. You got to constantly train them. Yes. I put my hand in my pocket with him. He leaned back. I leaned back. I know I got him. Then I lean to the side. He leans to the side. I'm in his mind now. Because now I was moving with him. Now he's moving with me. And now it's just a simple matter of saying certain things. And I said, man, come on with me so we can go. It's too much noise. I can't even hardly hear you. He gives me his hand. I walk out, look back at his father. His father,
I seen you do it right after you tell him you about to do it. You do it right then to a little kid. Hey, how you so? Where you about to go at? What your mama do? To end up telling everything, because we really end up confusing children. Because you tell them don't talk to strangers, and then they meet somebody for the first time. That's a stranger,
right? Well, you better say something.
You better say something so and so,
right?
Let them do all. Yeah, come on, man. We sit our children on the stranger lap, let them hug on them and take pictures.
Right.
What in the?
Because he called himself Santa Claus.
Not just him.
Santa Claus.
Not just him. We could be anywhere. If it's, I don't care who it could be some kid, something off of Nickelodeon, some furry animal off of Nickelodeon. They see him at something. Go sit in his lap. Go take a picture with this whoever this human is. You got your child sit. Jesus, man. Just as use resist responsibly. The only way to do that.
I'll be right back.
Is to watch our motherfucking show. That's the only way to do it. Not a Bobby Gold. That's the only way. No, seriously though, y'all. Let's read some. See if you got any more comments before we check up on out of here. And be on the lookout for the 1-800 Ask Baba coming out. No, sorry, the 1-900 Ask Baba coming very soon to a theater near you. No, I'm just bullshit. But yeah, become tactical minded. That is true. Before y'all leave the chat, make sure y'all hit the like button, man. That helps us measure what we're doing here, as well as the subscribe button. And please tell people about this particular show as well as the other ones, because I think this is super informative, man. It might not be as action-packed as some of the shows we've done before. I just really think this is one of those necessary things, because the navigation is getting it's to the point where, man, we just depend on these things right here to do everything, and it's really dumbed us down to the fact, I remember, like you said, we memorized all our friends' numbers, we paid attention more before this thing. We really did. We paid more attention to our surroundings. We paid more attention to what was going on because we didn't have this to fall back on. And it's really made us, and I think by design, you know, they want to create if you just follow me, they want to create a society that doesn't care how the water works. They just want it to cut on and cut off. They want to cut on, and they're not concerned with how it works, who it hurts to get it cut on. They just want a society that just only cares about the water being running, if you understand what I mean. Not the mechanics of it, not anything about it. And that's the kind of people we become. And if they cut it off, we don't know what else to do. You know what I'm saying?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Selmo Fudd was in the Army in 1987 and 92. Was in Germany at the time. It taught me to live off the land for sure. Yes. So what I did was took my training from the Army and translated it to urban survival. Okay. And then I train my students. Sometimes you may have to bug out. Sometimes you may have to bug in, hunker down in your home. Either way, you got to be able to survive.
And got to know the difference when to do what.
Right. Because you don't want to move when it's not necessary, and you want to move when it is necessary.
Yes. That's valuable lessons.
So, folks it's just urban survival. It's just woodland survival. No, it's just survival. You better do what you need to do at the right, because you can be in the wrong place at the right time and the right place at the wrong time. Either way, it's not going to go good for you. You're going to have to make adjustments. Okay. All right. So next week, I'm thinking
the baby.
What we gonna do? I'm gonna try to be here. I'm pretty sure the baby will be here at that point. We shall see. People, you don't seem that excited. I'm very excited, but this is child number 9.
Once you score 8 touchdowns in the game, the 9th one, you gonna celebrate in front of me. You score touchdowns, man. This is what you do. You score touchdowns.
Right, exactly. It's number girl number 8. I've got one son. So
we high five him when he get back. We come to the
right
locker room. That's about it. We used to.
One of these days you'll see her. By the time she probably walk onto the set. If I'm ever at home when we shoot, I'm not gonna just have online here like this, like see. I'm not gonna do it for security reasons.
Right.
Security reasons, right? But one day I ain't gonna be able to stop her. She's gonna walk on here, jump in my lap, and shit like that. That's the way children do,
Right. Someone said, survival is the name of the game. Most people can't even live off the land. That's true. But even more important is most people, if that's thinking about survival, shouldn't even be thinking about living off the land because they don't have access to the land. It's gonna, in most places, Black folks are in the urban part of it.
Right.
So we have to learn urban survival preparedness, most of us, how to survive in this urban setting, which, if you want to do, you know what I'm about to say, Bob.
The urban setting becomes your land.
You need Survive in the Urban Apocalypse by Balaguno Jitani.
Yeah, it's a pretty good book.
I've heard it's been pretty good. It's the only book I said I promote that I'm not on the cover, at this current. So check it out. It's I
don't know why he wasn't on the cover of that. I think he's out of town or something.
Right. No, but on a serious level, man, y'all know how I need a better word for competent. What's a better word for competent? Baba? More than competent. Qualified that Baba is in these arenas, but it's almost downplayed by his character for just the way he is. It's like because he ain't sitting there If he sat there with a military outfit on, we'll get more views. No shit though, but we get more views. If he sat there with all green on every show with some combat boots on, he get more views. If we sat in uniform, we get more views with black belts and shit on and sashes, and you know what I'm saying. If we call Egbil Goon the Kumite, yo, motherfuckers eat that shit up. Eat that shit up, the Kumite. You know, come down to the Kumite. Because that's what we,
start off each show breaking boards and shit.
You know what I'm saying? Ah! Every show. But that's not real.
Oh,
that's not real. People don't move like that. Like you say, you see real special forces dudes, they not the buff motherfuckers walking around. Of course, they got some, like you say, they got some folks like that for show, but that's not the dudes. Those are not the when you see the people, what they call those people that's out in the field. I think those are not the operators. The operators don't look like that for real. So that's it, man. I don't want to ramble too much. Just take what you can. These the information. I know we joke a lot. This is one of those subjects that's just really is one of those life and death. This could save your life, save a loved one life. Pass this show on. Buy one of these books for a loved one. Buy one for yourself. Read it. Learn it. Teach somebody. You ain't got to say Baba taught you. You can act like you learned that shit on your own. You ain't got to say Baba gave it to you. Just get the book and just start. I do it all the time. I do it all the time. Listen, he know. I was hey. He say some shit in the chat. Next thing you know, it's a post. And I look like that nigga. So, hey, I ain't ashamed. Don't you be ashamed to do it either. That's all I got to say. With pride. Steal from Baba. I'm joking. Don't steal from Baba. Please don't.
All right, y'all. So next week, we'll be back at it. We'll figure out, what the next show going to be. But until then, stay safe. We love y'all. Stay black or whatever it is that you may be. Peace.
Never lift up the left hand, y'all, if you didn't know that. Don't do that shit.